Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for hanging out with us here on the Daily Racing Form YouTube. It's time for a preview of the Thursday race of the day. But before we head out to Gulfstream Park, we want to remind you about the Road to the Derby package that continues on. And actually, it will take a stop at Gulfstream Park this weekend where you can get the past performances and the clocker reports for a big Saturday Florida Derby day. Those past performances are already out. Sovereignty looks like the horse to beat in there, Mike, a horse that you've been a fan of for quite some time. Let's see if we can pad the bankroll this week so we can have plenty of ammo for Gulfstream Park on Saturday. Let's take a look at the field for the Thursday race of the day. You can get free past performances at DRF.com. You have a sharp horse in here and a horse that just kind of makes sense in Wally World, who had pretty good form last year, came back, won in his first start as a 4-year-old, and could take a nice step forward in here. But honestly, there's nobody that's like overwhelming on speed figures. Nobody towers over each other. There's a lot of these are pretty evenly matched.
Did kind of feel like maybe it's an open kind of race here, Gino. I mean, listen, Wally World at 2, he's your 5-2 morning line favorite coming off of a win, and he's not hard to make a case for. He just might be really well spotted, right back here in his second start for Saffie Joseph. But I don't know, man. He's no star, that's for sure.
No.
It feels like you can make cases for some of his rivals.
And he's not a fun horse to bet at what's going to be a short price either. As we move to the Timeform US pace projector, let's see what Timeform US thinks. Talbingo's been a little versatile, actually showed the ability to sit off the pace last time out, but this horse wasn't too far off, like sub 22 fraction sprinting in the career debut. So kind of has that weapon at least there if they want to use it. To the outside, Ponent went really fast, setting the pace last time out. I'm kind of curious what those two will do up front early.
I kind of looked at them as the two main pace players too. I mean, I didn't necessarily think they were going to be blazing up front in here, but I did think the 5 and the 8 were certainly the most likely candidates to go forward.
Yeah, and I think it's encouraging if you like the 5 that he showed the ability to sit off the pace a little bit last time out. Let's meet the field for the Thursday race of the day. We'll start with Media Sensation. When I was handicapping this race the first time, Mike, initially, I looked at this horse and went, God, over the last 7, looks like this level is probably tougher than where he's been recently. And then you go through the field and you come back and go, you know what? He's pretty consistent. He kind of has a nice floor that a lot of these other horses go in and out of form a little bit. So I did warm up to him, and price is really key. Like if he is 5-1 or above and maybe even closer to that 10-1-ish range, he could be one of the playable horses in here. What do you think about Media Sensation?
Yeah, I kind of looked at him the same way. I mean, obviously, he always shows up. He's one of those horses who doesn't win that often, and that's always a concern. I think the one takeaway that I had, the longer that I looked at him, I think we had the same experience, because when I first went through the field, I was like, I don't like this horse that much. Then you go back and look at him again. I mean, yeah, he's 4 for 30 something in his career, but it's interesting. It took him 17 starts, first of all, to break his maiden, and he finally got that. This horse ran 4 times for Marty Drexler last year. He went 2 for 4. Drexler lost him, claimed him right back. He's been in really good form ever since Drexler reclaimed him. And I would just say this too about him, Gino. The last time they ran him on turf, 2 starts back, he ran fine in there. He had no excuse, and he wasn't winning that race, but he ran fine in there. The winner of that race, I would probably bet against this field. The runner-up, Alley-Oop Johnny, I would certainly bet against this field. And I don't know, maybe this horse is just in a really good spot at a fair price.
Yeah, Nantasket Beach has won 3 of the last 4. I think is entered on Florida Derby Day. I think early in the card, or coming up one of these next few days at Gulfstream Park. The number 2, Wally World, just feels like the horse to beat, but you just don't want to take too short of a price on this type of a horse, because he's going to get bet for the connections, and because on paper he looks solid. He ran some fine races earlier in his career at 2 and at 3 stakes placed, multiple stakes place horse. And then in his first start for Joseph, he wins. He kind of busted through a little late. I think we have a replay of him from last time out where he has a little bit of traffic. He kind of finds a seam, and then it's a nice, solid win. It was his first start in for Acclaim, so that's the race that makes him eligible for this race. Like everything with him makes sense. Yeah. He's just not as overwhelming on speed figures or on paper as I think his price will be, right? And that's where I think he makes that's what makes horses plays against.
Exactly. He's going to be a short price in here, and he can obviously win. In many ways, he's the horse to beat in this race. But again, it's not like he holds some kind of huge edge. That was a good performance last time. He got a really good trip overall, and the horse that he outfinished is obviously one of his main rivals, right back in this spot. But he's just, listen, he's going to be a short price. It's not like he's some kind of superstar, Gino. I mean, I guess the one thing you could say about him, if you feel like if you just feel like he's just better than these horses, you could say he was pretty good at 2. He never really got a campaign going last year. Chad Brown couldn't get him to the track. He kept missing time. He only made 3 starts. And last time was a step in the right direction for Safi. And now he's coming right back without a break.
Yep. And now he gets to be protected in this spot. So there's a lot of stuff that makes sense for him. And I know our producer Bobby is humming Holiday Road for Wally World back there. As we move to 4 top, he's in nice form now for Maker, but he did need softer company overall to kind of get into that nice form. I think the drop sort of helped him. Mike, what do you think about his chances in here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's obviously in good form for a really good trainer. And so to me, Gino, I guess the longer I looked at him, he's just not my kind of horse. He's got one race, that the most recent start on turf anyway, that will give him a real chance in here. His other turf races just aren't good enough to beat this field. And he's 3-1 on the morning line. He's not my kind of horse, but I guess if he just runs that last race back, he can win.
Left him behind, doesn't really have much early speed. That's the number 4 in here. Does get back to the turf. Turf form is fine. There aren't any victories, but as far as speed figures are concerned, the same sort of races as he runs on other surfaces. Can you build a case for this horse who'll probably be coming late?
Yeah, I'm kind of conflicted about his chances there, because you're right. I mean, if you just take his turf races, especially the most recent 3 at face value, you could make the argument that he's as good on turf as he is on dirt. I don't believe that, just from watching most of his career. I think he's a better dirt horse.
Talbingo will try turf for the first time. This horse has been good overall, though, on synthetic, on fast dirt, and on a sloppy track sprinting in that career debut. Won the first 2 starts, then lost to a horse named King Dioro, who is sharp, who has won 3 of the last 4, and who won the next start with a 90 Beyer speed figure. Damn grade 3 winner on the turf. And you know what I like too, Mike? This horse showed the ability to sit off the pace a little bit. Just like a lot of positives in this direction for the 5 Talbingo.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's so lightly raced that I think you want to be open to him maybe taking one more step forward and one more step forward if he handles the turf. Makes him really tough in here. He's one of 3 horses out of that 228 race on the all-weather, Gino. In my opinion, you can comment on this. I thought he had the best trip of the 3. And didn't really see an excuse for him not to win, but he ran fine in there. Here's a question for you too. Aside from whether you thought he got the best trip. So this is a horse who he's obviously pretty good on dirt. He's obviously pretty good on the all-weather. How do you feel that horses like this? You think he's going to be as good on turf? It's pretty rare for horses to be as good on all 3 surfaces. You think, does that hold you back at all, thinking now he's got to prove it on turf?
No, it's funny. It's something I probably wouldn't have thought twice about initially when handicapping, but it's definitely something I would love to think more about with shorter prices, right? Yeah. If it's built into him and he ends up getting bet down to 5-2-ish or 2-1, then maybe you take a think and you say, you know what? Yeah, he's been good on those other surfaces. It is very unlikely that you're good on everything. Right? You're not just a little bit slower. And if he's a little bit slower than he's been, it might be tough to compete with a horse like Wally World or some of the top tier contenders in here. But for me, price is key for him. If he's close to that 4-1 morning line, he probably offers pretty good value in here, I thought. Agreed. Let's go to the number 6 Goes the Clown. We caught a sneak peek of this guy in the replay we watched of Wally World because he was second, the 2 horse on the outside of that replay. And, you know, his form overall has been solid. He's kind of a measuring stick horse, I think, at this level, Mike, where I feel like you know what you're going to get from him, but I'm kind of concerned in most races. I think someone's always going to kind of jump up and be a little bit faster, almost like a pack horse here. What do you think about Goes the Clown?
Yeah, I can't say that I would be thrilled to bet him back off the last race, where I just felt like Wally World ran better than he did and beat him. I mean, I guess the flip side of that would be that this horse will be the better price this time. He was the favorite last time. And it was pretty close at the end. So it's not going to be that hard for him to turn the tables necessarily. I don't know. To me, this horse has run 5 times on turf. He's run basically the same race every single time. And I just kind of feel like he's going to need to, find a breakthrough somewhere. If he was going to be a bigger price, I'd probably like him. I don't think he's going to be a great price in here.
Next up is Escondido. Feels like a little bit of a pace factor. They dropped him in for the win last time out. He went from the maiden special weight to the maiden $35,000 claiming level. And he did face some tougher horses earlier on in his career. You see a lot of italics when you're looking at those DRF past performances. So a lot of horses that were in good form that would win and then win again next time out. I just think he's kind of got some speed, but he doesn't feel like the fastest in this race. And I get worried about horses like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. It just feels like he, dropped him in class. He wired a field last time. It just feels like maybe that trip's not going to be available to him here as he faces some better horses. I remember actually having a little bit of a thing for this horse on dirt early in his career, just thinking that he was better than he looked, and maybe there was going to be a breakthrough coming. Unfortunately, it never really happened.
I warmed up to the 8 a little bit, Mike, as I looked at this race more because I was pretty impressed with that last effort. He went really, really fast and was basically battling heads up,
Yeah.
going a mile and a 16th. And I thought he actually held on pretty well in that race, finishing 5th. If he is fast like that again, I think he can at least hang on for a slice. I'm not sure if he's good enough to win this race or if he'd get the kind of trip, but from the outside, if he's able to clear off here early on, I feel like he's faster than a couple of the other speed horses, or maybe intent-wise, if Talbingo sits a little bit like he did last time out. This is a horse I thought could sneak into some of the exotics. I used him underneath. What do you think about Ponent rounding out the field?
I think we have the same opinion of this horse, Gino. I think he's an interesting horse to use in there somewhere. I'd like to see Johnny V get a little aggressive with him here out of the gate and try to clear from the outside post and put this horse on the lead. We talked about that 228 race on the all-weather. He finished behind the other two exiting that race. I thought maybe he ran the best race of the three, just taking tons of pressure on the lead.
Let's get to selections here, Mike. Who are you going to put on top in this one? You'll land on the 1, Media Sensation.
Yeah. I just wanted to take a little shot against Wally World. He's the horse to beat. I just don't think he's invulnerable here at a short price. And the longer I looked at Media Sensation, the more I liked him. I think there's a good trip coming from the inside post here. I think he can beat this field.
Yeah, the 2 Wally Words, the horse to beat, but I'm really curious the price on the 5. I think if he's like 7 to 2-ish or above, that would be kind of playable. Just a little bit worried he gets bet down. Both Mike and I throw the 8 in. It's maybe a fun long shot to use if you're someone who's playing exactas, try supers. Horse could maybe get brave and hang on for a little bit of a slice. So whoever you play, however you play them in the Thursday race of the day, we wish you the best of luck.